Beer Review. This is season 4 and episode 2, which I'm starting to get reviewing the American craft beers. Now I'm going to take it nice and slow, and I'm going to hold back the very good acclaimed beers till a bit later. And I'm probably going to alter each episode is going to have a different beer, but I'm going to have American beers every second episode. So today we're going to do a beer. It's an IPA, and it's the Southampton Publick House India Pale Ale. Now this one is from Pennsylvania, actually, Montreal, Pennsylvania, and I've heard and I've seen reviews, and people say it's a bit mild to an American IPA, even though that's what it's classified as. So maybe it's halfway between English IPA and American IPA, but nevertheless we'll give it a full nice review and see what it's all about. 12 fluid US fluid ounces bottle, nice brown glass, and it's very generic for American craft beers. But for me, since I live in Canada, every time I get a bottle like that, I'm very happy for some stupid reason. So let's talk about the style now, and then we'll review the beer. Okay, so the style, the IPA, the English IPA, which is different from American IPA, but either way, I'll put it short, originated in England in the 18th century from the pale ale style, which back in the days was a bit different from what you call pale ale today. Because they had to transfer these beers and ship them to India for the troops and for the colonizers, I guess, they had to hop these beers much stronger, and hops is a great preservative, natural one too. So these beers produced a more complex flavour and a bit stronger in alcohol, about 5, 6, 6.5%. But the American IPA is a different style now because it's vastly popular among the craft brewers in the US, and it's usually pale in colour from my experience. So it might be like amber, light amber, orange to light copper colour, and it could be stronger. It's about from 6 to 7% usually. It's much more hoppy than an English IPA, and sometimes has less malt, sometimes it still has a nice malty background to balance out the hops. But these beers they've proved to be quite drinkable, and people love them. And the term hophead originated from this style essentially. And so yeah, that's a quick summary. Probably if you're a hophead, you probably know this, and you can add much more stuff to this. But nevertheless, let's get okay. So quick mention actually, this beer is originally from New York, from Southampton, New York. That's where the Publick House is, but now I guess they bottle it in Pennsylvania, so that's what the bottle says anyway. Let's see the back label. Balance. That's the difference between India Pale Ales, and that's the difference between the Southampton IPA and most others. Ours is a balance between the hopped up West Coast IPAs and the old world characteristics of traditional European IPA. You could say that Southampton IPA is located somewhere between Europe and California, figuratively and literally. So yeah, I guess I was right about the style, somewhere in the middle. We're going to see about that. Has a picture of Phil Markovsky, the brewmaster, and has all the warnings, as all American beers have. And I like the picture quite a bit actually. It's very lively. That's why I picked this bottle. I wasn't planning to buy this beer, but it just looked nice. The crown cap just says an S, but that's probably the logo for the caps. But let's get reviewing. This beer is going to be drunk by me out of the pint glass, a tumbler. It's probably my second time reviewing that in a tumbler. And usually you see Americans drink IPAs in these kind of glasses because they're very popular. And today actually is a special occasion. It's a bit of celebration for me. Today is the release date for Windows 7, and I usually don't rush to get into new technologies too fast, but today I actually got a netbook with Windows 7 pre-installed, and I'll drink to that, I guess. Let's give it a pour. I want to get a big head in this thing and see if I can manage. Yep. Nice and big. So as I was expecting, it has a quite pale colour, light amber to orange maybe, or you could say gold. Nice off-white, frothy head. Some carbonation says, I'd say medium bubbles. I don't know what they say and what they review this beer as, but it definitely smells like a true American IPA. citrus and pine, that's the majority of the notes you get. Very nice, very powerful too. I can definitely smell both hops and malts right away. A very nice kind of toffee, caramel sweetness to it, and nice hoppiness. Could wish for better in terms of smell, so it's going to get good grades and smell. I think I didn't fit the whole thing. Let's try to do that. And I'll drink to Windows 7. For those of you who use MacBooks, I mean, I'm not against Macs. I think it all comes down to a matter of preference, really. So for me, I'm not planning to convert to Mac anytime soon. But it's not that I don't like them. But anyways, to Windows 7. Can't find anything wrong with it. For me, it's very hoppy, but it's definitely very. There's just enough hops for me. I'm not entirely hop heady. Probably, if you give me some beers that hop heads are used to, I'm probably going to say they're a bit too much for me. But this one's very nice. Hits you right away with the hops, sharp bitterness, and then you get some sweetness as well. I'm guessing lemon. More lemon than grapefruit, since this is it's not a West Coast IPA really, and definitely getting some pine as well. Carbonation is very lively. It's very mild, but it kind of adds to the mouthfeel, I think. Great IPA. I'm gonna go and actually do my typed up review for Beer Advocate now, and I'll come back to you in a sec. But so far, from the first 2 swigs or so, I can't say that this is mild IPA. For me, it's pretty good. Okay, so I'm back. Pretty good still. I have a bit of beer left, but it still has some nice thing ahead. As far as the flavour goes, I think it's a good example of style, don't get me wrong, but as I drink more of it, I kind of realised that it's not really up to the scale of some other IPAs I've tried, American IPAs. So the Dogfish 60-minute IPA was definitely better. Even the Corner Diablo, the JDC's local version of the American IPA style, was way better. I think it lacks a bit of sweetness and also lacks a bit of complexity. Now IPAs are not very complex beers, but you could still, get more out of an IPA, especially if it's nicely brewed. But this is 6.1% ABV actually. Took me a while to find it. At the very back of the bottle in small letters. But it's slightly below average for the ABV. So I guess the drinkability is quite good in this one. It has enough hops, has enough balance. But I've had better IPAs, even though I haven't had that many, but I can say this much. Nevertheless, I still recommend this. If you haven't tried it, it's pretty cheap, so you should probably give it a go. 7 out of 10 for Southampton IPA Pale Ale, because it's above average. I think it's a good example of style, but it's lacking a few aspects there and here. Could do a bit better. But that's all I have to say about this beer. I certainly have no regrets. I tried this and brought this bottle back from New York City. And that's all I have to say for this review. Cheers, guys. Let's stick to the video.